when the administration comes into office in 2008, it asked itself a number of questions about our footprint in the world. The period from 2001 to 2008 had been, it's not a partisan comment, I think it had been an exhausting period in American foreign policy, kind of a period of great exertion by the United States at high cost in the wars in Iraq and in Afghanistan, and also the results also of the fallout of the financial crisis. So we asked ourselves during that transition where we were underweighted and where we were overweighted in the world. And there are a lot of elements that came out of that, and I won't go through the whole review here. But the chief geographic element that came out of it was this: was that the United States was substantially, in our judgment, overinvested in military actions in the Middle East, and was substantially underinvested across every dimension in Asia, given our interest in Asia. And you had, the President put his imprimatur on this, you had really strong advocates for this view in the administration, including Secretary Clinton and Assistant Secretary Kirk Campbell and others. And we determined that we were going to make that adjustment. Now, this is just, people discuss pivot versus rebalancing and stuff like that. I prefer rebalancing, and I gave most of the diplomatic presentations on the details of this around the world, because I think pivot indicates turning away from other obligations that you have. This rather is not that. The United States is a global power with global interests, and this is what it is. It's a rebalancing of our efforts across a number of dimensions, right? The security dimension gets the most attention because it's kind of the hard stuff you can see, right? And Bill's in the middle of this, and that's important. And it's important for the United States to have its presence there. It's important for the United States to give every indication and actually have the ability to meet the security needs of its partners and allies in the region, to provide the kind of security platform that's provided for 7 decades, and a number of conversations with the Chinese about this issue, which is the fact is, of course, that the United States has provided the security platform in the region, which has allowed for the social and economic development of the region, including China. But it also many other aspects to it. There's mind share, diplomatic effort, building institutions, which is a big effort of ours with respect to the EAS and other institutions, and economics. And of course, the principal economic thrust is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I hope can be completed during the course of the year 2014. That really is the economic centerpiece of this rebalance, and very important for the United States in terms of leadership because it's a win-win in Asia. And so that's the sources of the strategic issue, and of course embedded in this, and it's the elements, and of course another element to it is obviously a constructive and productive relationship with the Chinese, and we engaged in an intensive effort with the Chinese over the course of the last 5 years to work through a number of issues about the relationship. Although the question arises, where is this rebalance given everything that's happened in the Middle East, and given all the other issues that the United States has to deal with? And the truth is, of course, is that along all those elements, there is progress, right? There's progress on the economic elements. There's progress on the security elements. Hagel's had 2 or 3 trips out there in the last 6 months. We have deepened our alliance relationship with the Japanese substantially. We've deepened our alliance relationship with the Filipinos, and with the Philippines, and with the Koreans. As I said, so economics, security, institution
building. One thing you
building.
just left off was deepening the relationship as an alliance with China.
Well, not as an alliance with China, right? Deepening a constructive and productive relationship with China, of course. And the last thing I did before I left office was to organize the Donilon Summit. The presidents met had met with Xi Jinping twice during the course of 2013. I do think that the president not going to Asia in November on the scheduled trip, including missing 2 summits, was very costly, frankly. And and the nonsense in Washington cost us, frankly. And the president has announced, Susan Rice announced in a recent speech, that the president would be going back out to Asia in April. It's important that he do that. I would advocate it's important that trip be viewed expansively, including visits with allies. And I would hope both in Japan and Korea, because of the other issues that are there, I talked about the economic issues. There are real security issues in Northeast Asia right now, and there are real issues among our allies, between our allies as well. So, what should we do? We should make the most of this trip. We should complete the TPP. We should make sure that our defense budget actually reflects the priorities in terms of the rebalance to Asia, and we should become, I think, pretty engaged with our allies, Japan and Korea, to see if we can't make progress with respect to the Gulf that's developed between President Park and Prime Minister Abe.
Let me